What is going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Straight Up Real Talk. What's going on, Saron? How you doing?
I'm doing great. It's a fantastic day here in the neighborhood in North Carolina.
Is it really a fantastic day though, or
Yeah,
or you
because
just being like positive?
I woke up, I'm alive, I'm well.
Okay,
I know the
okay.
aches and pain there. It's hot, but guess what? I want to make the best day of it. Yeah,
Good, good. So, what has been going on with you? What's been going on this week?
yeah. I'm not even for you to look up, so we can see your face.
Sorry, my
There
bad.
we
I'm like
go.
I'm a multitasker, so I'm doing
There
like
we go.
50,000 things at one time. So,
There
what
we
is
go.
going on, everybody? How you doing?
Yeah, there we go. Been good. Just work as usual. The norm. Trying to next month school starts for me, so it's going to be a little hectic,
Yeah.
but nonetheless I'm ready for the start of a new journey, academic journey for me as well, so
All right.
definitely looking forward to it.
All right. No, that
Yeah.
sounds good. And
Also,
so, go
hold
ahead.
on before we
Shoot.
say anything, we have
Go.
a special guest, Dwayne
Yes.
Godwin. He is a We talk about life insurance, he's the
Yes.
man to be. We're going to talk about financial literacy in our African American community. And he's going to come out a little bit later and he's going to tell us all about that. You can get in contact with him. You can get
Yes.
your life insurance policy, whole life, term life. I guess what? I'm going to do my research too. So I
Yes,
got
yes.
some
That is
information.
very important
Oh,
because I'm
so
not going to go into it all the way into it, but I honestly don't even know the difference between like term life insurance and whole life. Like I honestly like every now and then I'll research it and then it's just
uh-huh.
to me it's a lot of mumbo jumbo and I just like I don't care. I mean, I have
Well,
insurance,
well,
but
when he comes out, we'll get all of
yeah,
that squared away. So what's
good,
been going
good.
on with you, sir? World traveler on the scene.
Man, first of all, the fact that I'm even here right now is like it's a big deal, right?
Uh-huh.
Like it's been crazy. I'm exhausted. Like it's so funny how you need a vacation from your vacation, right? And
Yes,
so
because it gets very tiring.
it does. It's tiring, and the sun is hot. Yeah, well, I mean, we went to a couple of different countries, had a good time. If I took off my hat right now, I would literally look like an alien. So let me tell you what happened really quickly, right?
All right, tell
So
me.
me, I'm not a sun person. I love the sun, but I don't chill out in the sun, right? So I never tan. I never do any of that nonsense, right? And so I'm not gonna call it nonsense, but I just don't do that, right? And so I'm on the beach, on multiple beaches, chilling. And me, I'm like, well, let me just wear a headband. So then that way, if I sweat, the headband will catch the sweat and I'm good.
Uh-huh.
Don't do that, people. I take off my headband. I got this light ring going around. And I look crazy as hell. I
Mm-hmm.
end up looking crazy as hell. And so, sunscreen, don't wear a headband, wear a hat, cover your head. And but yeah,
Yes.
I had a good time. I can't wait. I'm already planning next year. And so, yeah, we just had a good time. I'm glad I'm back, ready to get this show started.
Awesome, awesome. And just some admin notes. Thank you all for following us, liking us, sharing our videos on Facebook, Instagram,
Yeah,
YouTube. Follow us on iHeartRadio, Apple
yes,
Music Podcast, Spotify, Facebook. Thank you all. And
for
if you
sure.
haven't, go ahead and follow us.
For
It's
sure.
straight up real
Definitely.
talk.
Definitely. I just want to
So
say too that like you guys are really showing up this season. Like I'm not even front. Like when I look at our numbers, like the numbers that you see, I don't know if you can even see the numbers. Like it looks like whoever you see is watching. That's those are not accurate numbers. But this year you guys are really like showing up for us. And so we just want to
mhm,
say thank you. Like it
thank you all
actually
very
it's a
much.
big deal. It means something in terms of getting sponsors and getting picked up by various stations. It means a lot. So thank you.
Yes, yes, yes. All right, so we're gonna go straight. We're gonna go to a little bit of reality.
Oh, my
He's not one
favorite.
of my favorite people on reality TV. You know what I'm saying?
You must be talking about Kim Zodiac Bierman.
So that's what she's going by now?
Well, that was that is her husband. Well, she's technically her name is right now Kim Zodiac Bierman right now,
Okay.
right? And so anyway, I'm pretty sure everyone knows it's been all over the blogs, all in the news, how they were getting divorced. They were calling the cops on each other. He called her a gambler. She said he kidnapped the kids. It was a hot mess. It still is a hot mess.
Oof.
All of a sudden, they did a 180. You thought I was going to say 360. They did a 180. They did a 180, and then all of a sudden they're at church holding hands, right?
Hmm.
And so I'm calling BS on it. To me, I think it was. I think it's all fake. I think they're trying to get a new reality show. Don't be tardy for the reconciliation. Like, I do think it's BS. I think they played the media the whole time. I
Mhm.
think her reality show Don't Be Tardy got canceled like 2 years ago, I think, and so they haven't been doing anything. And I think she had been trying to get back on the Real Housewives of Atlanta, but they were kind of
Okay.
like, not right now, not a good time. So they do all of this fake drama, all this fake divorce, go through all of this stuff, and now the Real Housewives of Atlanta is now going after her to want her back. And I'm like, we were played. Sorry, y'all. I'm still on
Yeah,
vacation.
because it sounds fake to me. It sounds like it was
Exactly.
all for the
Exactly.
cameras.
Exactly. Like, how is it?
Yeah.
Like, literally, you were accusing each other of kidnapping last week, and this week you're in church holding hands. Like, get
Yeah.
out of here. They're
And
like,
I mean, what
oh.
exactly is her storyline going to be? Because she has all these kids that she has to feed.
I guess the storyline could be, oh, my husband and I went through this thing, and then we got back together, and then they have all this fake drama to like talk about.
Mm, I
I'm
guess,
calling
but
BS on it.
she's never been that girl for me.
No, 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 no. I've
Yeah.
never been a fan of. No, I take that back. Season one, I did like him. She seemed down to earth, but slowly I started seeing like little things about her that I didn't
Okay.
like. When she had the assistant, I don't know, she had the assistant, Sweetie, the black girl who she pretty much treated like crap.
Oh
And
wow.
how she said like Candy's $1 million mansion was kind of in the ghetto, and she had to lock her car doors, and she didn't want to be eating with some of the girls at a barbecue eating fried chicken. There was just little things that she would
Very
say when you
racist
were
remark.
out of all the things that you could have said about them
Come
eating at
on,
a
fried
barbecue,
chicken and
first of
melons, all that
all,
good, all that stuff.
most people don't even eat fried chicken at a barbecue.
No.
You know what I mean? It's not. It's what is it? Grilled. You know what I'm saying? So it's
Mhm.
not fried. And so she knew what she was saying. And it was just instances like that where I stopped messing with her. But anyway, I'm tired of giving
Okay.
her airtime because it was fake.
Yeah, yeah. All right. So we're going to move on to something into the arena of politics.
Oh God.
Yes, and you all may have remembered him when he dressed in drag.
Miss George.
Yes, Miss George. So what's been going on with Sister George?
So
You know what? Let me
he
go back
had
and put this picture back up. And
put
there's
that
a
picture back
reason for
up.
this.
Because you see, let me stop. Because let me stop. I said this year that I was gonna be nicer and I was not gonna say the things that I think. So I'm not gonna say it. But anyway,
Okay.
George Santos had the audacity to compare himself literally to like Rosa Parks. And it's at a point now where I honestly think that these politicians are just saying anything, literally anything, just to get airtime or just to be that person who said something shocking because you're going to get airtime. You know it's going to be in the blogs. You know that everybody's going to be talking about it, right? And so, what is that saying? You would rather be, if you can't be famous, you could be infamous. You know what I mean? And
Hmm.
so and I'm going to say Republicans,
Yeah.
it just seems like that's just the road that they're going. It's like, let me just say anything and see what sticks to the wall. Let me see what I can get, what's going to get me coverage today. It's just like yeah, I'm over it.
Yeah. There's no way that he should compare himself to Rosa Parks. He's not even the same sentence.
No, no,
Like why is being slammed by Rosa Parks? First of all, what you did was illegal, immoral, and also unethical as well
man,
by stealing people's money and lying about your credentials.
man.
If there was a black man that was in that same position, he wouldn't even have a leg to stand on right now as we speak. He would have been ousted and been
Quick,
replaced because look how quickly they ousted those two personnel, those two
Yep. Yep.
black men. I forgot what
Hmm.
state they were from. When they outs them
I
within
remember
days, except for the
days.
white woman that was saved.
Yep.
And then days later, days to a week and a half
Yeah.
later, they
Yeah.
were voted back in
Exactly.
to. I forgot what state they were from.
I, was it Arizona? Was it Arizona or
I
Miss
don't
something?
remember.
Something. I don't remember either.
Yeah,
If you guys know in the
it was one of
comments,
those
let us
red
know.
states.
Yeah, if you guys know in the comments, let us know. But
Yes,
yeah,
please
I
do.
do
Let us
remember that
know.
story, and I think it was telling that all I'm gonna say three of them because it was two black guys and the Caucasian
White
woman
woman.
were pretty much doing the same thing,
Yeah,
and they chose not to expel her. Like that said everything that needed to be
yeah,
said,
I agree.
right? And so it's stuff like that where you look at it and say, I don't know how you can't like just like look and see that racism isn't still out there. That's
Yeah,
just like
it's
that's
just
like
in your face.
in your face. And so if you're saying, oh no, racism doesn't, and this goes for the black people too who are screaming, oh, it's no racism,
Hmm.
everybody gets a fair chance. Shut up. Shut up. Shut up. And I'm just gonna just shut up and be quiet. Like go over there. If you want to go over there, then go over there. But
Okay.
don't try to look at everybody else and be like, oh, everybody get the same opportunities. No, we don't.
No, we do
No, we
not.
don't. No, we don't.
No, we
Stop.
do
No, we
not.
don't. Just because you made it, that doesn't mean anything. And most of the time, the way you made it by the same way that other people are trying to make it, and you just happen to make it. And then you want to sugar honey iced tea on everybody else. Notice how I
Hmm.
threw that in there, right? And
Yeah,
so,
just like what Clarence Thomas did a few weeks ago
thank you.
when he did for
Exactly.
the affirmative action thing.
Exactly. Exactly.
He
Something
put
that he
that top
benefited
piece out
from.
there.
He benefited from it. But
Yeah,
now that he's in his, yeah, he wants to, oh, no, get out of here. Like,
yeah.
I see. I can't even say it because see, I can't even talk about this because it gets me mad. Like, wait until like it's going to be interesting when we're doing
Mhm.
our show during the election cycle because
Mm,
I'm gonna be fired up, ready to go in my Obama
I
voice.
agree. I agree because
Yeah. So
I am ready for it.
yeah.
I'm ready.
And so
But
no to George Santos. Get out of here. Get out of here with that.
yes, please do have several seats. So
So
this is one of my favorite parts of the show. Again, if you all are out there, please chime in and get with the conversation. And oh, by the way, thank you all for joining in last week too. It was very
definitely,
good. Thank you.
definitely.
Thank you all. All right.
Gracias.
So this is one of my favorite parts. It's would you rather?
Rather.
So would you rather? So this is the question that I have for you, Serge, and for those that are listening. Would you rather to work a high paying job that you hate or your dream job with only just enough money for rent, food, and utilities?
Oh, that's easy. My dream job.
Why is that?
That's easy. I've worked at a place that I hated and made money. And I remember, I, is Tia here? Tia, no. I'm not even going to say the name of the company, but I hated that company with a passion. Tia and I, we worked together. We met there and we worked there. I hated that place with a passion. I remember, I think it was on the 10th floor. And I remember as the elevator was going up and it was open, the doors were open. I would like take a deep breath and I'm
It's like
like,
that.
it was that bad. Like it was really that bad where you just woke up in the morning and was like, if I don't show up, like,
Hmm.
and I can't do it. I can't do it. I would rather struggle and be, my whole thing is this, I'm at work more than I'm home. And so if I'm going to be somewhere at that much, I at least need to be, if not happy, like content.
Hmm.
And so I can't be miserable there like 8 hours a day. I can't do it. Get somebody else to do it.
Okay. So
Not
you would
me.
just go and just
I'll
do
scrimp.
your dream job,
I'll
even just to
scrimp.
pay your basic utilities.
As long as I can eat and look halfway decent, like I can't. Like I cannot work. I can't do that. I can't.
Okay. Well,
What
I would
about
say
you?
this is one of the very few moments that you and I do agree. I would prefer to work my butt off for what I
Mm,
want until when I get to there and just have enough to just to survive. Because I
yeah.
know what it is to have absolutely nothing. You go into an
See?
apartment, all you have is just the blow up mattress.
Yeah.
No beds, no TV, or nothing. So I know what it is to from the bottom to the top. Well, I'm not at the top yet, but
Yep.
I'm getting
Yep.
there.
Trying to tell you. Yep.
I'm actually getting there. So, but yes, so I would definitely go ahead
Yeah.
and do that.
Yeah.
That's
Nope.
what I
I
would do.
agree. Yeah. So we finally agreed on something. I don't know. Maybe this is like the second or third time.
Something like that, but it's very rare.
I know,
Yeah.
right? For real. No, yeah. So
Like
we agree.
last
Good.
week, you wanted to wear your underwear.
For a month before. Yeah. Socks? No. No.
Yeah.
Wait. No.
Maybe
Wait.
this week.
No. No. I said no. I said I would wear my socks, not my
Yes.
underwear.
Yes.
Yeah. I would wear my socks, not my underwear. Yeah. Because again, like I don't have a foot problem. Like I don't. I'm not even saying I have a foot problem because
Mhm.
just because people just naturally normal day to day you have foot smell, whatever case may be. I
Okay.
just don't. I just don't have that. Like it takes me days, before my foot would smell. Like they
Okay.
just
Okay.
they just
Okay.
don't. So I'm still sticking with my feet. Sorry.
Okay. Hey,
Yeah.
that's
So I actually have I actually have one. And so as you guys can
okay.
see, I'm like stuttering. I'm all over the place. I'm still on vacation mode. Forgive me.
I
I get
see.
it. I get it together. But seriously, don't listen. So what would you rather? Okay, you ready?
I am.
Okay. Would you rather be with the love of your life? Now this is forever. Be with the love of your life. You guys, you are great together. You love her. You everything is perfect, but the sex is trash. And when I say trash, you can't even fix it. Like you can't even fix it. It's just trash. It's so trash that you avoid it. But other than that, like you're happy, like everything else is perfect. Dream person, trashy sex, or
Mhm.
or be with someone the rest of your life. The sex is amazing. Bombs bursting in air, like literally bombs bursting in air, like
uh,
and perfect every time. Perfect
mhm.
every time. But outside of that, you're miserable with this person. Miserable. Like it like there's nothing in common. It's just not working. Different rooms, like it's that bad. But bedroom, amazing. Which way are you going?
I would definitely go with A.
Okay, A.
I would
Okay.
go with A.
Mm-hmm.
Sex, you can find a way to somehow
Trash.
remedy
It
the
was no,
situation.
it was trash. It was trash. There's no remedy in that
Okay,
situation.
so okay, I would still go with A,
Okay.
and I will go with the rule. What I've heard, and one of
Mm-hmm.
my when I was watching Natalia Perry talk about the 80-20 rule.
Okay.
You
Explain it to
know,
me.
so the 20% that you really want in this case
Mm-hmm.
is the sex, but you're not getting
Okay.
it. But you see somebody out there that has that 20%, and that 20% looks really attractive,
Mm-hmm.
looks really attractive. But when you get with that person doesn't offer you what you have at home.
Mm-hmm.
Cook, clean, take care of the house, is good with their money, financial wise. They know about everything else. They don't give you the time, the attention, or anything. But that 20% looks really good what you don't have.
Okay.
But when you see the 80% now, the 80%
Mm-hmm.
has what that 20% is not offering. So which would you
Mm-hmm.
prefer? So I
Okay.
always go back to the 80-20 rule
Mm-hmm.
because one looks good when you don't have it.
Okay.
You
So
know,
every
so I
mhm.
would definitely go with a sex
Okay.
is trash, but everything else works. You know,
So the only
yeah.
thing I heard you said out of that whole long thing you said you're just trying to talk yourself out of reason. Sorry.
No, but I would definitely go with A.
You're gonna
I
go
would
with A.
definitely go
All
with
right.
A.
All right.
Let's
So you're gonna live with bad sex.
y- yeah.
Okay, no,
Tiffany
just asking.
said
Okay.
Tiffany said be with the love of my life.
She's a woman. Of course she's gonna say that. Like she gonna say that. Like, come on. Mostly all women are gonna say they want to be with the love of their life.
Well, you never know. You might have some
Yeah,
people that say, "Look, you know what? Sex is more important to me than anything else."
yeah, yeah,
But we always have to remember that at some point in time, the sex is going to just be that's it. And you're going to need a little bit more than sex in
yeah.
this life.
All right, I hear you. All right, all right, I hear
Yes.
you, Mister Goody Two Shoes. All right.
Yes. So we're going to do one more and then we're going to get Dwayne to get out here. So Jamie's back.
Yes,
Or
Jamie
is
is
it
back.
so?
Did you, or is it a clone? Because you know that's a thing, right? It's a thing out
Maybe.
there that there was like, that's not really Jamie. That's a clone. Because why isn't he talking? He hasn't said anything. First of all, I find all of this hilarious as hell, right?
Hmm.
Like I literally find it. I'm finding this funny now. But it's something very interesting about this, right?
What
And
is it?
Jamie Foxx is very like he's not out there when it comes to like putting his business out there, right?
Okay.
You don't. We talked about this already, right? You don't hear about him too much. You don't hear about people he's dating, all this and all this. All of a sudden, he's popping up in bowling alleys, on boats, saving women's purses. Like it's almost like they're throwing him out there like he's a prop. Like, look, see, we told you he was okay. And it's just weird to me that it's just weird. And I'm not saying that that's a clone. I'm just like this whole thing to me is just weird as hell. I'm sorry. It's weird. That's all I got to say.
Okay.
It's weird. And one last thing. One last thing. Like, has he spoken? Like, did you? And I'm not.
No,
Did he say
I
anything
have
in the
not.
clips? Like,
I've just seen the clips.
yeah, yeah. Like, I don't know if he's even like, hey, what's going on? I'm back. I'm feeling better. Like, you just randomly like see him. And I'm not being funny. First of all, let me say, I'm not being funny. Nor am I trying to make light of anything, whatever the case may be. But whenever you see him, am I bugging out, or is it maybe it's just TV? He's always moving like slow motion, like almost like he's like scared he's gonna hurt something. I don't know.
I've
Maybe it's
actually
just
never really paid attention.
pay attention. It's
So
almost like he's moving really slow, like I don't know. It's
yeah,
weird. It's weird. Sorry, people, but it's weird.
yeah. I
God
want to go
bless
to the
him.
comment section. Bradshaw, and I'm agree with Bradshaw. He said, I still don't know what supposedly
Yeah,
happened to him because as of right now,
yeah,
it's like kind of controversial. Did he have a
yeah.
stroke? Not have a stroke? Wasn't he a part of like a movie at the time and they had to
Exactly,
rush him off set? So it's like a little bit
exactly,
like
exactly.
not too sure.
Exactly. Hey Tia, Tia, I'm shouting you out. I was literally just talking about you. I don't know if you just popped in. I was talking about. I didn't say the name Tia. I was talking about the place where we used to work and how much. And I'm going to say we like we hated it. But that's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say about it. All right, sir. Go ahead.
All right, so we're gonna have Dwayne Godwin come out. He is a financial literacy. He's gonna talk to us about life insurance, policies, term life, and feel free to ask your question. This is the moment that you can ask your question and you will get it from the expert. So with no further ado, I'm gonna have Dwayne to come on out. Welcome, Dwayne. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you guys?
I'm doing well. How are you
Good,
doing?
Awesome.
good.
Awesome.
Awesome. First of all, thank you very much for coming on here and
No problem at
talking
all.
to us about life insurance and the whole gamut. So
Yes.
tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're from, how long you've been in this industry, and just tell us about everything.
Okay. So my name is Dwayne Godwin. I started my agency right around November of last year. My agency started in Georgia and I have expanded to 14 different states. So I've got a lot of different areas where I can help families. What created this passion was during COVID, I had two of my grandfathers, my mom, dad, and my dad's dad, to pass away within a 30 day span, and both died from COVID. Um, One was more prepared, the other one wasn't. It's I that brought a huge awareness for me of the importance of making sure that I am involved in positive change and educating our community on the importance of making sure we have things in order because it can make the grieving process a little bit more easier or it can make it a just chaotic, and just definitely create some extra stresses with not having the financial support that you need or things in place to be able to do a burial, etc. So when I went through that personally, um, during COVID, I said that it's time for me to make a change. What can I do to be a positive impact? And I got into insurance, and I've loved it so far. I mean, I'm truly being able to help our community understand what financial literacy means, and how it can set you up, you and your family up for such a better financial future. And I cover
Okay.
all different areas, not just burial. I cover mortgage. I cover final expense, all different areas as well. And then investments, whole life insurance, and term life insurance. So I kind of basically cover all the biggest elements of insurance to make sure that clients and families are getting protected.
Okay. Okay.
Yep.
Uh, question for you, and
Yes.
this is probably a good probably time to talk about it to explain it. Can you break down the difference between term life, whole life, any other life there is? Like I literally like it's kind of confusing to me, like the average person, I guess it's a little bit confusing when you even when you read up on it. I still never completely get it, right? It's just like you just know you're supposed to have life insurance, but you're never quite sure which one you should have and
So
what the differences are.
that's a great question. Whole life insurance, term life, provides two separate different benefits. So for those who have a mortgage, who bought a home, who have large bills, who have investments, things that they can't afford to lose in the event of death or in the event of critical illness too. Term life is designed for that. So let me give you an example. You buy a house, $500,000, 30-year term. You want to make sure that you protect that loan in the event that something happens, not just if you pass away during that before the 30 years, but also if you are for some reason, God forbid, are critically ill. When that happens, it will kick in and it can provide you accelerated living benefits, which means it can help you pay for, some expenses that you incur during that time. So term life is designed for that. Term life is designed to cover and protect your mortgage, protect those large bills. It's to mirror that mortgage term and basically the balance so that if you pass away, that beneficiary, that wife, that significant other, whomever you choose, or maybe even a family member that you trust if you're not married or whatever, that beneficiary will not have to uproot their life and move because they can't afford the lifestyle that you created. This sets them up so that they can still maintain that lifestyle above and beyond the grieving the loss, but they can be able to take care of that and so much more to be able to continue on their life moving forward. So that's the biggest element, the biggest benefit of term life. Whole life is when you're thinking about an investment standpoint. You say, I want to invest in something that down the line I'm thinking about owning a business or my kids. I've got kids that are young now. They want to go to college in the future. I want to have something set up for their future that we can pour that money out and pay for those expenses. Whole life is ideal for that. Whole life will basically help you grow guaranteed cash each month that you're paying into it year over year, and it just grows and grows and grows. Some carriers have different parameters. Some you can pull the cash, guaranteed cash out. Most of them you can borrow it. But the benefit of borrowing it is that you're still growing that because it's a loan against the actual guaranteed cash that should have been sitting in there. So you can still grow it instead of having to deplete it. If you pull it out, then there's no more growth. So that's the benefit and the difference of a whole life versus a term life. There's a lot of other different things in regards of the two, but that's the stark difference. And that's why term is better for mortgage, people who have a mortgage. And then whole is more or less for people who just want to have something for their burial or an investment or for final expense.
Okay. How early would you suggest getting life insurance for someone? I'm pretty sure most people have seen those little Gerber things that come in the paper for your kids, whatever the case may be. I'm pretty sure most people throw it out. So should people actually get life insurance for their babies, their young children?
Good question. I'll tell you directly, and then I'll give you an example. Absolutely. They should do it early. In regards to the time frame, they can do it as when they're young. The reason why is that child can have a large death premium for a small fraction of the cost. When the insurance, when they look at the actual premium and the actual death benefit that's eligible, they look at the age and the health of that individual. So when you get it earlier and they're actually younger, those policies are tremendously cheaper than as you wait for, like me, 43. It's a lot more limited. I can't get a certain amount of death benefit, and then the premium is higher. It's not impossible to get, but the earlier you get it and the healthier you are, the better policy that you can get, which down the line, in a nutshell, will tremendously help you long term. So, and I'll give you that. And then I just literally set my family up, my nieces up with policies, three of them. One is 19, one is 26, and I think the other one is right around 24. Their policies, they were able to get $500,000 policies for a very inexpensive term premium per month. That's going to set them up. That policy, because they're younger, now it's an adult policy because they're over 18, so it's not a child policy. And that's another thing to add. You can get it on your child as a rider, but when they're 18, typically they have the ability to now convert it into their own personal policy. But my point of mentioning that is this specific policy that all three of them have has a 30-year term, but it's convertible in a 10-year, which means that they can still in 10 years say, we want to convert that into a whole life policy to grow guaranteed cash. And they get a large death benefit because of that. And it's just so much cheaper for them overall. So it's kind of the best of both worlds. They get that $500,000, $500,000, and then they can convert it over to a whole life, which is a lifetime.
Go ahead, Saron.
I was just going to say that's really good information to have. And if anyone in the who's watching right now will want to ask Dwayne a question about term life policy, any type of policy that there is, please feel free to go ahead and type it in the comments, and we'll make sure to put it up on the screen so that he can read it. So Dwayne, for you, I know oftentimes in the African American community, this is not a topic that we easily talk about because we would normally say, why are you gonna spend your money for something that when you die, somebody else is gonna get the reward for, and all of that stuff. So why is it important that we eradicate that mindset? Also, when someone gets one of these policies, um, how soon, let's say, can they either borrow against it or take cash out from that policy? Because somebody like, look, I'm spending all of this money every month, $100 for the next God knows how long I'm going to be alive for. Is it possible for me to get some money from this thing? Like, explain to us how that work and why is it important for those in the African American community to eradicate that mindset of why am I going to pay into something that I'm going to die anyways, so might as well, why I'm going to spend money for that. Like, help us to clear that mindset up.
I do agree. It's a tough conversation. When we're talking about the future of death, we all have an expiration date. So I think we can all agree that that conversation has to be had at some point. The sooner you have it, the better you can prepare. But I am very sympathetic because I had that mindset until it hit me personally. What I'm trying to do is make sure that our community, that people that are not informed, that are not like questions that you just asked about the difference of term and whole life, that they are getting the information so they understand what the true features and benefits are of having life insurance. So that answers the first question in regards to why it's important to have the conversation. I understand that it's one that we don't want to have, but is a conversation, especially African American community, we need to have even more so. And I can say I started late too, so I understand because I was that person that didn't want to have the conversation. But when it hits you in your face, it wakes you up. And so I had my wake up. I'm trying to prevent our community to have that, to wait until they have their wake up. And then it's ooh, I should have done, should have, would have done. Instead of doing that, let's have it, let's put it in place. So when it happens to all of us, it makes things so much easier. The second question you asked about why am I paying for all of this and waiting for, and that next person beneficiary receives the benefit? Well, I'll answer it from a standpoint of you will be able to typically, the carriers that I work with, if it's available, which most times it is, you will have accelerated living benefits within that policy, which means that if you are critical ill, something happens to you where you're not able to go to work, depending on the parameters of that carrier, typically you can start utilizing a portion of that while you're living. So the beneficiary doesn't have to get all the benefits of a life policy. You can actually take advantage of some of it if you're critically ill. That's important because we're all at some point, unfortunately, it's reality. We're going to get older. Things are going to start happening. What what will happen if tomorrow we feel critical ill? Will we be able to still maintain our lifestyle, or will we have to pull out of other accounts? This is bread and butter because this is above and beyond what you may have set up. Okay, so that answers the question there. The other part is if you have a spouse, a wife, you have children, you don't want them to, when you leave, you're the breadwinner, to have to basically pack up because the house is foreclosed, because they can't pay it, they can't afford that lifestyle. There was not, let's just say that person had the same mindset that you just mentioned. And I know it happens a lot with a lot of our community. I don't want to do that because they'll be okay. Why do I need to do that? Well, now you're the breadwinner. Isn't it selfish to not set them up that if something, God forbid, happens, that they're able to maintain that lifestyle that you all have built? I'll give you another carrot that I thought about. Homeowners insurance. Have you ever thought about that? That's required, but mortgage protection isn't. The reason why is homeowners insurance protects the lender's investment. The lender is giving you the loan. They're going to protect, the lender is going to protect themselves from repair and rebuild of that house that they basically are collateral for. So that if something happens like weather, fire, theft, they can rebuild because there's equity in there. There's an investment equity for them. But there's not a requirement for us who are the homeowners for mortgage protection. Doesn't that seem odd?
Yeah.
We can do everything in regards to investing. We can put a pool in the house, outside. We can do all of these fabulous upgrades, but we can still lose the house if something happens and we can't make that payment. And the bank gets foreclosed and takes that loan. Did you ever think about that? So that's why it's important for us to become more informed, because while we're spending so much time for our wives, our children to live a nice lifestyle that we work so hard to earn, we don't want them to lose it if something happens and we pass away, or we run critically ill and we have nothing set aside because we have that mentality. Why do it? I don't want to do it. They'll be okay. So you have nothing set aside and you have to now lose everything.
Okay, all right. So we're gonna go to the comments. We have a question. Can someone with a prior diagnosis such as cancer qualify for whole or term life insurance?
Good question. As long as they are 40 and up to 80, I can get them a policy with no health exams, no medical questions at all. I have two carriers, AIG and another carrier that I work with, that will approve my clients that are looking for a whole life policy, not a term. A term is a little bit different, but a whole life policy that individual can get, regardless of cancer and any other prior health diagnosis.
So, is there like a dollar figure that is the cap or the for the minimum?
So for per policy is 25,000 is the cap for, we call it a guaranteed issue whole life policy. All that means is that person, if they're 40, between 40 and 80, they want a policy, I will go in the system, assist them, basically first educate them on the features and benefits and find out their budget. Whatever their budget is, we'll go in the system and calculate it. And if that works for them, I would apply for it for them, and they basically are instantly approved as long as the premium can be paid and they're 40, between the ages of 40 and up to 80, I can get them a policy.
Okay. Okay. Well,
Can
Tony, you know you have your answer to that question.
Yeah, I have a question for you, Dwayne. Can you get a policy on someone without their knowledge? I know it's a
Yeah.
weird question, but I'm just wondering because in the African American community, a lot of times, if you say literally, if you tell like your honest, I'm going to put a insurance policy, there's what you trying to do, kill me? Like, what you waiting for me to die? Like they're literally having a heart attack as soon as they hear I'm going to get a life insurance policy. They literally start to panic and have a heart attack. And so, if you want to put a life insurance policy on someone, do they have to know? Do they have to sign anything? Like, what is?
They
And then
have
again, keep in mind this might be of good intentions, but
Yes,
because the person
nothing like nothing crazy. Literally
yeah,
good
like good
intentions.
because
Yeah,
the
yeah,
person might be very stubborn
yeah,
to do it,
yeah.
but you as the educated one
Mhm.
knows that you need this.
It's good for
You
them.
need this.
Yeah, yeah.
But they're like, I'm not
Plus,
ready
you
to
don't want
die
to.
yet. I'm
Yeah,
gonna live forever, blah blah blah.
yeah.
Is there
And
a
you don't want to be
way
the one
around that?
stuck with a GoFundMe. And so you're trying to, do the right thing.
no, no,
Okay.
no, no,
Okay.
absolutely not. I've had clients, we've had this conversation, same thing. A client, I need a policy on my aunt and uncle. I can't do it. I need to speak with aunt and uncle
Mhm.
individually. Now, if they give a consent for you to be on that conference with them, I have
Mhm.
to speak with them. I have to verify their ID. So I would need to see their driver's license to verify they are who they say they are. I would need to speak with them, and maybe even I would take extra precautions because that's kind of a red flag. It happens a lot with people trying to
Mhm.
take life policies out on people and without their authorization. So me, I would take it a little further and say, hey, let's get on a Zoom, and if your aunt and uncle give consent, I would speak to them first. Make sure that they are consensual on you being on this call because there are some things that may be discussed that they're not comfortable with, and that's their right. And then if you want to be the payer of the policy, you absolutely can, but you cannot own the policy. They would be the owner, but you can be the payer. If you want to contribute on that policy for aunt and uncle, absolutely. God bless you. But you cannot start a policy, be the owner or the insurer for them, or do anything representing them without their consent.
Mhm. That's good. Second question in regards to that, because I just realized, and when you were talking, you said something that stood out. And so the person can pay for it as long as they know about it, right? And so
Mhm.
does the person paying for it have to be the benefit? Like if I'm paying for something, can they pick a different beneficiary?
Absolutely.
So they can still
Yeah.
pick whoever they want,
They can
even
pick
though I'm
whoever
paying
they
for
want.
it. Okay, I
Absolutely.
see.
Absolutely.
Okay.
The only person that can determine the beneficiary is the owner of that policy.
I see. Do they
Okay.
have
They
to
can
tell
change
the person? Sorry, go ahead.
and
No,
they can
do
change the beneficiary so ever how many times they need to. They can contact
do
the carrier and say, I want to change it,
mhm.
next month, the next month.
Are they required to tell the person who's paying for it?
No,
Okay.
the payer is just the payer. They
Okay.
have no rights to the policy. That's why I emphasize that they're not
Okay.
the owner. The
Yeah.
owner is the one that makes those decisions. No,
Okay.
they do not have to.
Yeah.
They do not have to
Yeah.
share any information with the payer.
Okay. See, that's good to know right there. So just
Yeah,
because you're paying for it, and you're not the owner, you have no rights to it. So
you have
that's
no
good
right.
info.
Absolutely.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's good
Good
info.
question.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
All right. No,
So
that
pretty
makes
much,
sense.
the owner will have to say, "Hey, I want this person to be the beneficiary of the policy,"
Yeah.
even though you might be doing out of good of your heart to
That
pay
is
for
correct.
it.
Absolutely.
Can a person have multiple beneficiaries? And if so, how does it work in terms of dispersing the money, and I guess like making sure I guess you wouldn't know that once you disperse the money out. I guess the
Yeah.
insurance company has nothing else to do with what goes on after that. But if it's two people on it, is the money just split between the two or the three or the four or the five?
That
Or
is
is it like
actually
a
a great,
main person?
yeah, that's actually a great question. You have a primary that you select first, who can be the largest percentage. Doesn't have to be the largest percentage. But what those two, let's just say we have two beneficiaries that they want to split, they just have to be able to, it has to equal 100%. So it could be 60-40, it could be 50-50, it could be 30-70, whatever way that owner wants to set up the beneficiaries percentage, they decided, but it has the total 100%. That's the only parameter. I've had situations where I've got a family that has 5 children and want to split it. They can, if it's not available on the app, the e-app online, they would just after approval be able to call and add those additional and the 20% for each of the five to total 100%. That's the
Mm.
only thing that's required is the 100%. Anything else in regards to beneficiaries is up to the owner.
Gotcha.
Okay. All right. Good question. A good thing.
Yeah.
Now I want to go ahead to the comment section. I'm going to go here. Bradshaw said, "Is there a way a person can find out if someone else may have taken out a policy on them? Like, what if someone may have gotten a hold of personal information and took out a policy unbeknown to the policy holder?"
Yes, they can. All they need to do is find out. They do have to find out the carrier. Okay. Find out the carrier. Let's just say, for example, it may be Mutual of Omaha. You kind of got a hint or you feel like that someone's taking a policy out on you. You can call Mutual of Omaha. You can look them, Google them, look up their contact, or you can also, my information is up there. So if you got questions, my information is within the link to call me and I can kind of help you out with that. But the the short answer to that is absolutely you can. You can call the carrier, provide them your social, and they can look it up and tell you the information on the policy if there's a policy taken out on you.
Okay, okay. And we have another one. This one is coming in from YouTube. Jero2001 said, in regards to search question about being the payer of someone's policy, what if they're the power of attorney? Does that give them the rights to manage the policy?
The power of attorney is a little bit different because I'm not an attorney. That's kind of like a gray area to answer because power of attorney gets more into the legal ramifications of that contract. Um, yes, there are rights that are given with power of attorney. However, that would be more invasive. Though I would say you would need to call that carrier and find out how that works because every carrier has different parameters. Some are a little bit more flexible, some are very much more strict. But yes, power of attorney does allow the right to be able to have some ownership, but what that carrier will allow determines the carrier specifically will determine that.
Okay. I have a question. So you mentioned earlier about that you could say in case of health scare in an emergency, so that what are the conditions that someone can take out money from their policy to do something? Can it just because, oh, I want to go travel, or it has to be for a medical emergency, or what is the parameters? What are the rules regarding that, and how long does it take for after getting the policy with you, um, someone can go ahead and get that money? And if so, how much legally can they take? Because obviously, common sense, if it's 25,000, you can't go take out, I don't know, 25,000 because that defeats the whole purpose of having the policy.
Okay. So good question. We recommend typically 5 years minimum. Let it grow. Let your whole, we're talking about specifically a whole life policy where it grows into guaranteed cash. It grows that. 5 years basically will allow you to see the growth in that policy. Okay. Um, to determine the amount, that's a very variable question. It's specific to what your policy is, what your investment is into that policy will determine how much it grows. So one person may be paying 250 towards a whole life policy. One person may be paying $50 towards a whole life policy. One will grow a lot larger, have a larger death benefit, and guaranteed cash that grows in that policy. So that's a hard question to directly answer. However, you asked another question in regards to when can you pull it out?
Yes.
You can pull it out anytime, basically 5 years or so. You can start pulling it out. The guaranteed cash that is available to you. That is what you are entitled to utilize. You don't have to ask anybody or beg or apply. No, you don't do that. When it's in your policy, which you'll get a statement each month over the year as well, annually, it'll tell you what's in that policy, that what grows. You can pull that out and borrow against it at any point whenever you see fit. Okay. You asked another question in regards of if something happens critically happens to you. If you are applicable, and of course every carrier is different on what they look at critical illness to be. Okay, so that varies as well. But I'll give you an example. Someone that has a critical illness and they have only a year to live. The doctor has told them you only have a year to live. That may be applied for a critical illness, and that may be cancer or something happened, to them during that time that they have the policy. Then they can start pouring this separate. This is separate. They can start pouring out the accelerated death benefit during that time, meaning a larger amount that they can start pouring out of that policy. Sometimes it's 50% of the death benefit, which if it's a $25,000 policy, it may be half of that, depending on the carrier and the max. Some have a max of critical illness death benefit that you can start pouring out of that policy. So
Okay.
they're two separate things. Guaranteed cash has nothing to do with you being disabled. That is just your guaranteed cash that you've earned. You pour that out as you see fit as it grows. You're gonna loan it. You're loaning it and you're paying it back. I do want to emphasize that most of the carriers, it's a loan. Okay. As you're paying it back, let's just say you pass away, you borrowed 5,000, you only paid $2,500 back. That $2,500 difference will just be deducted from the death benefit that goes to the beneficiary.
So it's particular that don't take the money from it unless you really have to take it from it. Because if
Well,
not, go ahead.
Well, yes and no. Take it at your own leisure. The benefit of watching it grow is it grows more. Okay, your guaranteed cash will continue to grow. So let's just say if you cash it out, with some carriers you can cash out the guaranteed cash value. You can cash that out. It stops. The guaranteed cash starts all over when you're investing after the fact. If you're loaning it, it's still growing because you're taking a loan against it. So that amount is just borrowed against that guaranteed cash value.
Okay.
I actually have a interesting question. Can you have multiple policies? Meaning, can you have a policy with like Mutual Omaha, Gerber, Farmers Bureau? Like, can you have multiple policies out, or is that like a red flag towards insurance companies if they see you have like 4 or 5 policies?
You can
You can.
have multiple policies. There are stipulations that in regards to the death benefit amount that you can max out, but it just solely depends on the carriers. Some carriers say, like some of my guaranteed issue whole life, and that's for those who have medical issues or anything, and they don't require health issues, health questions, or health exams. It's basically a straight policy. They basically max out at 25,000 per policy. But I have multiple carriers that can allow that client, if they wanted 50,000, they can get two policies, one with that carrier, one with another.
Okay.
Gotcha. Really
Okay.
quickly,
Okay.
too, a lot of people may not know this, and I just found out. I don't know, like I said, I just found out about it, but 10 so years ago, a lot of employers offer life insurance. A lot of them offer it. Sometimes they tell you, sometimes they don't, but it doesn't hurt to ask. And a lot of times it's free or it's like reduced. And so definitely ask about it. Usually it just comes right out of your check if there's like a small fee for it or whatever the case may be. A lot of times you can add on to it. And so it's definitely worth checking out.
And I will say this, I will add to that important fact. I'm glad you mentioned that. There is a difference between a company's policy. It's a group policy. You're not the owner. You don't take advantage of the guaranteed cash that earns on that policy. You only receive it as a certificate. Okay. And also when you leave that company, that goes away. So, there's no true long-term benefit unless you're going to stay with that company for a long time. But if it's available, absolutely. So what a lot of my clients are doing is those larger amounts that the company is giving them, they utilize that and they make sure that they get a separate personal whole life policy where now they're taking the true benefits of that whole life policy and they're the owner of it. And that allows you to have the best of both worlds, a large benefit. When you leave, you still have something set aside.
Okay. Okay. We're gonna go to the comment section. John is asking a question here. Why would someone want to borrow from it if they have a year or so left? It's going to be needed for funeral expenses. Is there any truth to that?
No. So let me clarify. That's a good question, John. Barred against it may be when you say a year left, are you saying a year? Let's just use a year. He's saying maybe they're thinking they only have a year to live
Yeah.
because that's the only thing I can understand to qualify as a year left. Um, a whole life policy is basically forever. Okay, that's the first thing. It doesn't expire. It stays with you forever. So as long as you live, you'll always have it. There is a cutoff date. Some carriers stop at 85. Some stop at 90 in regards to investing in it. You can still have the policy, but they cut off that time that you are required up to pay for premiums. Um, if you're borrowing against it, it's something that you may need right now. It doesn't hurt to borrow against it. It's the same benefit of leaving it inside of the policy if you're paying it back because you're borrowing it. So it's a loan. So you'll still grow as long as you don't cash it out. You still receive the same benefit. Actually, is a huge advantage for you, that person who's insured, to have that option because now you can actually enjoy some of the benefits of that policy while you're living. So that hopefully that answers your question. What happens is if you don't pay the full balance of that loan that you're borrowing, per se, quote unquote, then it's actually applied towards the death benefit for that beneficiary.
Really quickly, because our time is running out, but I have a question actually from myself. I've always been curious about: can bill collectors come after your insurance policy if you've passed on? So let's just say you had life insurance, you passed away, you had a beneficiary, they got the policy, there was $100,000 left over, but you have a car, you have all these bills. Can your bill collectors come after you and take the money from the beneficiary? No.
No,
Okay.
sir. No, sir.
Okay. So
It's separate entity.
gotcha.
Separate, totally separate. That's not tied to anything corresponding to bills or
Yeah.
anything. That is a check that goes to the beneficiary to pay for whatever is needed for that person.
Okay. No, that's good to know.
Okay.
I've always wondered
Okay.
that. Yeah.
Well, we're almost out of time, but before we go, Dwayne, I want for you to let us know where you can be reached.
Yes.
What exactly policies that you are able to help with, and just tell us how to get in contact with you so people can know where you are, how to get in
Okay.
contact with you, email, phone, social media, you name it. The floor is yours.
Awesome. Awesome. So you can look me up. My name is right up there at the bottom. Dwayne Godwin is my Facebook. You can contact me there. You can message me there. You can also find me on IG, DC Godwin. You can message me there. If you have a direct question that you need answered right away, you can actually just call me directly or text me at the 470-366-5645.
Okay. All right.
Perfect.
Awesome.
Perfect.
Awesome. Awesome. All right, Dwayne, we will say bye to you and thank you very much for
Thank you very
coming on.
much. Yes.
My
Thanks very
pleasure.
much,
Thank you all
Dwayne.
for having me.
All right, bye.
Definitely.
All right. So thank you all for joining us. Remember, you can catch us on Facebook, Instagram, Spotify, Apple Music Podcasts, Instagram,
Everywhere.
and Facebook, iHeartRadio. If you
Everywhere.
haven't subscribed to us already, please go ahead and subscribe to us.
Do
Like
that.
our comments, share it with people that you
Do that.
know. As
Do
you can tell,
that.
this is a worthwhile information that we all need.
Yes, we talk about
Oftentimes, we don't
celebrity
think we
gossip and
need it.
important stuff also.
Exactly. It's not just a hot topic. We talk about life stuff. You know, these are things that we don't think we need it until we
For real,
realize,
for
oh my
real.
God, we really
Yeah.
need it.
No more GoFundMe's. Get your
Yes,
insurance
no more
policy if you can
GoFundMe,
afford.
please.
You can afford it, do
Please.
it. Just go get it.
Just
Please.
go get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, $100, $50, $30. You never know. So contact Dwayne and he will definitely make sure that you are set, your children are set, and you yourself will be set too, and your family. All right. Any parting words, Serge?
I will see you guys next week. It's past my bedtime. No, I'm just kidding. But I will see you guys next week.
All right. Thank you all for tuning in, and I will see you guys next week.
Peace.